Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Tourism Australia and Virtuoso Great Destinations and Experiences of Australia webinar. My name is Quentin Long and I am the co-founder of Australian Traveller and International Traveller, and I have the great pleasure of being your host today. And what a journey we're going to take today. We're going to go for one of the 25 minutes of pure travel and dreaming zen as we go commune with nature and go for a walk in the wilderness. We're going to explore the great walks of Australia. And it doesn't matter if you're one of those bush bashers who like to get nettles in your knees, or like me, you're just a Sunday ambler. There is a great walk of Australia for you. And you will find it today in this 25-minute presentation. Just quickly, the Great Walks of Australia are one of the 8 collectives that form the signature experiences of Australia. These are world-leading experience providers that are often hand-picked and in invite only to be part of the collective. They deliver incredible, personalised and enriching journeys to all travellers. So after that, our presentation about Great Walks, I'll also preview one particularly new member of the Virtuoso network. And I bet you've never heard of it. And I can say that with confidence because it hasn't even opened yet. So this is a sneak preview of a fabulous new provider, tourism provider here in the Australian market that you will thank me for, and we'll be elbowing each other to make our booking. If you have a connection issue, don't worry, you can use the link that you were logged in for the first time. It isn't like Mission Impossible. It doesn't self-destruct in 10 seconds. It can be used. And if you continue to have connection issues, don't worry, your Virtuoso travel advisor will be able to send you a link of the video recording of this great session today. Second thing I really wanted to make a point of is I'm not here for my own amusement. I'm here to help you find your next great Aussie experience. And I can't do that by second guessing. I'm not a mind reader, just ask my wife. So please use the Q&A function. That's what it's there for. Put in your questions, and because I'm a guy, I can't do 2 things at once. I can't answer questions and actually host this. So the team at the Virtuoso team will be answering your questions. And if we can't get to them all, you can, or don't forget, your Virtuoso travel advisor will definitely be able to help you out and answer those questions for you. So enough of the housekeeping. It's time for 2 feet and a heartbeat. And there's more dad jokes to come. Don't you worry about that. When we travel, we want to experience a destination as fully as humanly possible. And you can fly over a destination, you have no sense of it. You drive through a destination, you get a bit more. You ride a push bike through a destination, you get still more. But a true way to feel, sense, taste, smell, and commune with the destination must be by walking through it. And in Australia, we're so blessed with our nature, our flora, our fauna, our geography, our Indigenous culture. And there is no better way to experience that than on a great walk. Personally, I can tell you I did just one day of the 12 Apostles walk and from Apollo Bay, and it was fantastic. I really loved that. I was actually experiencing a part of Australia that's only possible to see by walking it. And even better, it was a hassle-free and worry-free, because at the beginning of the walk, they handed me a day pack. In it was a beautiful gourmet lunch prepared by a chef, water, trail mix, all those sorts of snacks that keep you walking. And even better is I had a guide with me who was able to interpret the geography, the flora, the fauna, the Indigenous history in a way that really brought it to life for me. And we had several moments where we just sat and became still to really commune with nature. It was so rejuvenating and invigorating, and an experience that will live with me forever. But do you know what the best part of it was? Well, the second best part of it, at the end of the day, they drove us back to the 12 Apostles Lodge, and we sat out there in the wilderness, our feet in a huge warm foot bath, drinking a glass of wine and talking about our day. It was magical. The other thing that really sticks with me about that experience was that 2 of my fellow walkers were a mother and son from Canada, and they traveled all the way from Canada just to do the 12 Apostles walk, talk about giving me a sense of appreciation, that I'm constantly surprised myself at how much I take for granted in this great country, having spent 15 years just living and breathing it. And I still sometimes need someone to remind me just how lucky we are. So I'm not the expert on the Great Walks of Australia. So I've got a fantastic person to be our guide today, and that's Liz O'Rourke. She's the Executive Officer for the Great Walks of Australia, and she's going to take us through what they really are and what those great experiences there are for you. And I guarantee you there's at least one, probably 5 great walks that you should add to your list right now. So I'll hand it over to you, Liz.
Thank you, Quentin. And wow, I really enjoyed hearing your stories about your adventure on the 12 Apostles Lodge Walk. Hello, everyone. It is so wonderful to be here with you today to talk about the Great Walks of Australia. And thank you so much for joining us. Hiking is definitely having a massive moment right now, particularly after 12 months of lockdown from COVID. So you would be right to imagine we're dealing with an unprecedented level of interest from Australians keen to get into the outdoors right now, which has been fantastic because the Great Walks of Australia are really the ultimate way to walk and see the best of Australia. 2021 in our book is really shaping up to be the year of hiking, which is a wonderful thing. It's good for us, good for the planet, and the more of us that are doing hiking, the better. 2021 is really shaping up to be the year of hiking, which is a wonderful thing because it's great for you and it's great for the planet. For those of you that are not familiar with us, the Great Walks of Australia are 12 multi-day guided hikes, all really unique and special, showcasing some of the most iconic landscapes and stunning wilderness locations in the country, as well as exclusive eco-luxury accommodation and stunning hospitality, including fabulous gourmet food and wine. Because we take care of everything for you, our guests can completely unwind, relax, and immerse themselves fully in nature and the experience of these incredibly scenic places. Hiking is an amazing way to see the country, and Australia comes to life so vividly through its landscapes and flora and fauna, like Quentin mentioned, and seeing it up close on foot really allows you to have a relationship with the land and country that stays with you long after the journey ends. We offer 2 different styles of walks: lodge-based walks, where you venture out from the lodge for the day carrying just a day pack, or through walks where you carry a relatively light but a bigger pack with your belongings and hike through to a different accommodation location each night. So we really take the hard work and stress out of hiking, making getting outdoors and spending some quality time in nature accessible for you. We like to say you don't need to be Bear Grylls to go hiking. You don't need to wrestle with putting up a tent or eating dehydrated food. From gourmet dinners and a glass of wine at the end of the day to comfortable beds and hot showers, this is definitely hiking in style, not roughing it. In fact, one of our guests aptly called it hiking like a rock star. But the creature comforts are really just a nice addition to the heart of what we're truly all about, which is having an immersive nature experience on foot. People really want to get off grid and escape from their busy lives and gadgets and spend some time without distractions, reconnecting properly with themselves and nature. The walks are the perfect way to do that. You really get the chance to ground and reconnect, like I mentioned. You leave feeling refreshed, relaxed, and rejuvenated with a sense of achievement and accomplishment. And for that reason, our guests are always really wowed by these trips, often calling them the best holidays that they've had. It may also be helpful to know that 90% of our walkers have also said the walks represent excellent value for money, and that the walks also have a really strong repeat factor. So once you do one, they become a bit addictive. And we know that many people end up turning the Great Walks of Australia into a bucket list and doing 4, 5, and 6 walks. So what actually makes a walk great? Well, these are all about walking in really iconic locations. From Cradle Mountain to Larapinta Trail to Wineglass Bay, we take you to some of Australia's most scenic spots. We take you into remote wilderness. So these aren't just outside of town. We really take you off grid And you have an immersive nature experience, very authentic from the flora and the fauna. These are 4 to 6 day journeys with small groups. And you have experienced, knowledgeable guides. Quentin mentioned how important that was there before, not just from a safety perspective so that you can just relax and focus on walking, but also to bring the history and the story of the places that you're walking through to life. Outstanding hospitality, and we know that one thing that our guests love is the eco-luxury accommodation that we offer, that ranges from safari-style tents to amazing historic homesteads and some of the luxury lodges of Australia. Gourmet food and wine, exactly what you want after working up an appetite on the trails all day. Good for you, good for the planet, something so important, and having low impact sustainable travel is really key to the heart of what we do. And committed to sustainability and conservation. So we put our money where our mouth is. We are really active in conservation, and we help preserve for the future the places that we're walking in. So who are our walks for? Well, we would say anyone with a moderate level of fitness. So you don't need to be an extreme athlete to do these walks. You just need to be comfortable with walking around 10 kilometers a day. So if you can do that, you'll be fine. You'll be doing really well, in fact. We've had ages from 12 to 80 complete the walks. And the walks are graded easy to moderate to hard, so everyone can really find the right one for them. And our customers, they tend to range from, we get a lot of women walking either solo or in groups of friends. We have a lot of couples, perhaps on their holidays or celebrating milestone occasions like birthdays or anniversaries. Plus we get families and larger groups that may book out a walk exclusively for their group. And where are our walks? Well, we've got 12 across the country, as I mentioned. We have 6 on the mainland. We have 1 on Lord Howe Island, and we have 5 in Tasmania. And when to walk? There are 2 main seasons for walking in Australia. Roughly, they are in winter from March to October for the walks based in the northern part of the country, and over summer from September to April in the southern part of the country, being Tasmania and Victoria. And what that means is that you'll always be walking in the mildest and most stable weather we have. And apart from the few odd days, you usually won't be walking in any kind of extreme heat or cold. It's really comfortable. So onto the walks themselves. Now, let's start with our 3 most recent walks to have joined the Great Walks of Australia. Now, the Scenic Rim Trail, they've actually been with us from the beginning. However, they have the brand new 5-day Scenic Rim Trail, which launched in June 2020 to an amazing response from Queenslanders who were in lockdown in the state, and they essentially booked it out for most of the year. The Scenic Rim Trail is an absolutely exquisite part of Queensland, and this walk has been over 10 years in the making by Spices Retreats. It's also Queensland's biggest ever ecotourism project, 60 kilometres through the Scenic Rim area, plus through Spices private nature reserves, and into Main Range National Park and the UNESCO World Heritage listed ancient rainforests in the Scenic Rim area. The walk also includes a visit to their on-site wildlife research and rehabilitation centre to see koalas, which is a really amazing experience and a highlight of that walk. The next walk we have is the sensational Three Capes Lodge walk in Tasmania. Now, the Three Capes Lodge walk takes in the dramatic dolerite cliffs of the Tasman Peninsula in the south, on the southeast coast of Tasmania, and its beautiful coastal forests. You stay in incredible eco-luxury wilderness lodges, and they're the only walk operator that can actually take you out to the Blade, which is a not for the faint of heart, rocky outcrop, and they also provide the only private accommodation in the national park area. So definitely a great one to check out, the Three Capes Lodge Walk. The next walk we have is the Seven Peaks Walk on Lord Howe Island. This is an amazing 6-day adventure consisting of 5 days of walking plus a free day where they take you out snorkeling or on a boat adventure if you would like to. And you climb the mountains, the 7 peaks, obviously, but you also relax in style at Pine Trees Lodge, which is an amazing place to stay. And this is a World Heritage listed island, and David Attenborough actually said about Lord Howe Island that this is so extraordinary, it's almost unbelievable. So this is a really incredible place to visit and to hike. And if we have a look now at our next 3 walks, which are, I would call perhaps our classic and some of our world famous walks, not to be missed. Let's start with the Cradle Mountain Huts Walk in Tasmania. This is a bucket list walk for so many people on the world famous overland track. This is 6 days walking through Tasmania's incredible, beautiful and pristine World Heritage listed wilderness region while staying in the only private accommodation on the overland track. So definitely some luxury and perks to tackling this amazing hike. The next walk is the Maria Island Walk in Tasmania. From abundant wildlife, viewing total tranquility to picture perfect scenery and a dash of history with convict settlement sites, you can't go past the Maria Island Walk. It's one of the greatest places in Australia to see these little fellows, beautiful little wombats, plus a myriad of other animals. And you enjoy a stay in historic Benaki House on your final night. It's a really wonderful island national park, just perfect for exploring. And the next walk is the classic Larapinta Trek and Comfort in the Northern Territory. This is another one of our world famous trails. The classic Larapinta is an outback adventure into the heart of the Red Centre. You walk 6 days through the West MacDonnell Ranges, staying in safari-style tented sites, seeing these ancient, majestic landscapes by foot, and what an experience this one is. For active explorers looking for something a bit different, our next 3 walks might just be the ticket you're looking for. We have the 12 Apostles Lodge Walk that Quentin was talking about earlier in Victoria. Now, you may have heard of the 12 Apostles, perhaps you've even seen them, but we take it a step further. We take you to the unknown areas that very few people know about, and let you discover the hidden secrets of this amazing wilderness area surrounding the 12 Apostles. So this one goes for 4 invigorating days, takes you through amazing coastal forests, along soaring sea cliffs, and a really great adventure, this one. The next walk we have is the Arkaba Walk in South Australia. This is a 4-day outback adventure that takes you through otherworldly Wilpena Pound and the awe-inspiring Flinders Ranges into Arkaba, which is a 63,000 kilometre former sheep station turned nature conservancy. You'll sleep under the stars, as well as spend a night at the Arkaba Homestead, which is one of the luxury lodges of Australia. So a really unique hiking experience, this one. Freycinet Experience Walk is our next walk. This is in Tasmania. Some of you might recognise their gorgeous wine glass bay up in the top left-hand corner. On the Freycinet Experience Walk, you'll hike through tranquil Freycinet National Park with its magnificent pink granite hazard mountains. And over 4 days, you stay in a stunning architect-designed eco-lodge known as the Invisible Lodge, just sitting perched back in the sand dunes. It's a really wonderful ecotourism hike, and very, very peaceful. You'll definitely feel invigorated. Now, for those of you that like easy cruisy walking and prefer flat to mountains, let me tell you about the next 3 walks that we have. The Bay of Fires Lodge Walk in Tasmania is a really wonderful coastal walk. This is 4 deeply relaxing days across stunning beaches and through coastal forest, staying in an architect-designed lodge and a tented beach campsite, and enjoying a kayak on your final day down the Ansons River. But very, very peaceful. And again, another walk where you'll feel really reinvigorated and recharged after spending 4 days out here. The next walk is the Murray River Walk in South Australia. This is a really quintessential Australian experience in my book. This is 4 days hiking the spectacular surrounds of the Murray River, which is Australia's longest river, and cruising by luxury houseboat to your next day's walking destination. There's plenty of bird life, and you get to explore the eucalypt forests that surround the banks of the Murray. So a really unique experience and a great part of Australia. And then the next walk we have and our last walk is the Cape to Cape walk in Margaret River, Western Australia. This walk takes you on the famed Cape to Cape track and is actually, I would say, probably one of our more luxurious walks. You stay in a luxury spa retreat for your 4-day adventure and walk through this unbelievable Western Australian coastline. You visit the Karri forests is a really tranquil experience. And probably the biggest highlight of this walk, you enjoy a gourmet taste of the Margaret River, and that ranges from private chef cooked meals to exclusive wine tasting and curated menus at one of Western Australia's dining hotspots called Yarrie. So a really special walk, that one too. And with that, let's check out some of these walks in a little bit more detail, and I will play you our video now.
I choose to see beauty where others don't know it exists, to rise to the sound of the waves and sleep under the shadow of mountains. I choose to escape, to take the path less trodden and learn the stories of this land. I choose nature in all its beautiful forms, not by road or in the air, but on foot, one step at a time. I search for connection to all that surrounds me, an awakening of my senses, and the knowledge that I'm right where I need to be. I choose adventure and the path in front of me, winding through deserts and wilderness, rugged and wild, across ancient landscapes and beaches untouched. I choose to walk through this land, Australia, for all these reasons and many more untold.
So I don't know about you guys, but just seeing that really makes me want to put on my hiking boots and get out there and explore this amazing country of ours that's just so incredibly scenic. If you have any questions, any final questions that you want to type in the chat box before we wrap up today, please do so now. Would love to help you with any information that you might be looking for or any questions that you have. And if you are now interested in finding out more about the Great Walks of Australia or perhaps placing a booking, please talk to your Virtuoso travel advisor. They're an amazing source of information and they would be more than happy to help you. I can't thank you enough for joining us today. I hope it's really inspired you to get out and see Australia on foot. It's such a magnificent country and it's such a magnificent way to travel. Thank you so much, everybody.
Wow, thanks so much, Liz. Talk about walking like a rock star. Put me down for that. I've only had one day and I'd love to have many, many more. I will say, though, at the top of my list for quite some time, I'd probably say 15 years, has been the Larapinta in Comfort. It is an astonishing walk where you follow the West McDonald Ranges all the way west, obviously, of Alice Springs in that beautiful arid red centre landscape, and you follow the hills up and then you descend into these cooling, tranquil pools of water. The water holes are fantastic. And I don't think many Australians understand just how beautiful a landscape it is, but also how Australian you feel once you're in that landscape. And I'd also give another shout out to the newest of the Great Walks of Australia, which is the Three Capes Trek. We did a feature of it in the magazine and it is amazing. It made my skin, I got goosebumps on my skin reading it, and the photos were astonishing. And our writer said, do you know what? Those images do it only half the justice it deserves. So thank you so much, Liz. That was a wonderful presentation.
Thanks, Quentin, and thanks everyone for joining us today. It's been a pleasure.
Great. And now we're going to move on. As I said, I wanted to share with you a new Virtuoso member who is, I'm sure you haven't heard of because it hasn't opened yet. It doesn't open until the 1st of June 2021, sorry. And we're going to have to fight each other to be the first in the queue to check in. It's called Sequoia Lodge. It's in the Adelaide Hills, and it's set amongst those beautiful rolling valleys and hills that we all know have great wineries, great food, and a really serene sort of landscape. And the Sequoia Lodge has done a fantastic job of making the most of that. They have these huge panoramic windows. There is a main lounge area, 2 onsens, a infinity edge pool, and the rooms themselves are gorgeous, massive big rooms. Those all important egg-shaped bathtubs that my wife loves, with up against the window so you can lie in the bath, relax and rejuvenate and look out into that incredibly special landscape. It is part, just to give you some sense of where it is on the same sort of adjacent to Mount Lofty, but part of the same group, so that the dining options are at Mount Lofty House. But I can't do it as much justice as they can. They've prepared a short video for us, and I'll give it to you now.
Romeo, Adelaide, correction, Parafield, Star Watch is terminated. Good night.
Wow, I told you it was an exciting development in the luxury lodge scene of Australia, and it just shows it. I should have mentioned they have services, as you'd expect, chauffeur services to drive you to and from the lodge, or give you access to other parts of the Adelaide Hills. And they also have a spa on site, as you would expect. And Sequoia Lodge is a great partner for our second Virtuoso member that we're profiling today, which is Coast & Co. These are exclusive guided tours of the main regions of South Australia. And in my opinion, South Australia is probably the most underestimated and underappreciated state in the whole country. It has so much to offer. And the guys at Coast & Co really specialise in showing off the best that South Australia has to offer in the wine regions, in the coastal regions, in the food and the wilderness. They specialise in the Barossa, McLaren Vale, Adelaide Hills and Fleurieu Peninsula, and even have their own accommodation tucked away in a secret and secure location just south of McLaren Vale. But I'll let them do their talking because they have a superb video for us today as well. And I'll let Steve, who's the founder of the company, tell you all about it.
Welcome to Coast & Co, South Australia's most exclusive food, wine and adventure tour operator. Our private chartered touring takes in South Australia's key wine regions with a range of VIP experiences. We take you into the hallowed vineyards at Henschke, the secret cellars at Penfolds. We four-wheel drive into ancient gorges, and we cruise along wild beaches. There's even an opportunity to walk the wild South Coast Whale. We really mix the best of the state's wine, coast, and nature. You can book a day tour with us or a multi-day package that takes in the best of South Australia's wine, coast, and nature scene. We'll always house you in beautiful accommodation as we have a partnership with Sequoia Lodge and Mount Lofty House in the Adelaide Hills. This is exquisite accommodation and matches the calibre of our experiences. We hope to see you in South Australia.
What a fantastic video from Steve. I would encourage you to reach out to your Virtuoso travel advisor. Make sure you've made a list of all the fabulous experiences that Liz touched on today, plus Sequoia Lodge and the guys at Coast & Co, and drop them a line to make sure that they weave in these great suppliers for Australian travel into your next itinerary. Maybe reach out to them and ask them to put together an itinerary for you right away. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. It's been a great trip through the great walks of Australia and obviously Sequoia Lodge and Coast & Co. I wanted to thank Liz for her time. Now, if you've enjoyed today, please remember this doesn't have to be the end of the journey. This is number 4 in our webinar series. So coming up next Tuesday, we have the best of the Aboriginal experiences in Australia and the ultimate winery experiences. And the Tuesday following, the best cultural tours of Australia, or best cultural experiences, I should say, and the best golf courses of Australia. So register for those and I'll be joining you for them as well. We've also done 3 webinars already. And so if you've missed out on them, that's Luxury Lodges of Australia. So I'm just going to quickly look them all up. Luxury Lodges of Australia, the Australian Wildlife Journeys, and Great Fishing Adventures. If you'd like them, your travel advisor will have links that you can actually request and they'll be able to send them to you to check them out, because I'm sure there's lots more experiences in there that you want to add to your travel list. I think that's it from me today. Thank you so much for being part of it. My name is Quentin Long. I'm the co-founder of Australian Traveller Media. It's been my absolute pleasure to be with you today. Until next week, happy travels.